Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hi. All right, so we are live on our second live stream. If you join me in the first live stream, I told you guys that I was going to start another live stream. Okay, so please, you're welcome to my second live stream. If you're coming in, like this video, share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's discuss on this particular topic. All right, so my topic states that ex beauty queen expose franchise holders, and we're going to talk about the pageant in general. Okay, so if you're coming in, please like my live stream. Okay, so I'm not going to be taking much of your time, probably 30-40 minutes we are out of here. I don't want to take much time, just want to discuss on this particular topic. So please, if you're coming in, like this live stream. So if you're coming in, like the live stream. Okay, so we're going to be discussing on S beauty pageant queen exposed franchise holders and why pageants are failing in Nigeria. Okay, so we're going to talk about it, and you're going to share your views on why pageants are failing in Nigeria. Okay, I'm going to be talking about a particular topic I saw on Instagram. An ex beauty queen talked about it. She mentioned something, about why beauty pageants and franchise holders are failing here in Nigeria. She mentioned a whole lot, and I'm going to be, dissecting her post, okay, on this particular live stream. I have it here on my phone, so we're going to be dissecting what the ex beauty queen said. This particular ex beauty queen was Miss Earth Nigeria 2019 by the name Susan Garland. She shared this particular post on her Instagram, on an Instagram story or so. Yeah, Instagram stories, and she mentioned some things about franchise holders, beauty queens, and all. So a lot of things she mentioned here. I'm going to be dissecting what she said one by one in this particular live stream, and I'm going to be getting your views on it. Okay, so I'll get your views on it while I dissect what she said. She said a whole lot. Like, I think is about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 slides. Like, seriously, she said a lot. But I just want to dissect what she said, being the fact that she's an ex beauty queen herself. I think she has a lot more insight into why pageants are failing here in Nigeria. So she has a lot to say about pageantry here in Nigeria. Okay, so all right, so let me start off with the first slide. So like I said, you're coming in, like my live stream, comment down below, and let's begin. Excuse me, please, let me drink water. I'm taking ice and, ice and milk to cool down my temperature. Okay, so first of all, she said pageantry in Nigeria is not part of Nigerian entertainment industry that is totally accepted by Nigerians when compared to other parts of the Nigerian entertainment industry. Okay, okay, pageantry is not a part of Nigerian entertainment industry, okay, that is totally accepted by Nigerians when compared to other parts of the Nigerian entertainment industry due to some irregularities with pageant organizers. Okay, she now went further to say that pageant franchise holders and some desperate pageant competitors, bad behaviors by some bad eggs have tainted the image of the pageant industry after the glory days of Queen Agbani Darego. I don't know if you guys understand this part. She first of all said that Nigerian pageant system is not part of the entertainment industry. So we should try and distinguish the fact that the pageant industry and the Nigerian entertainment industry are two different things, okay? They shouldn't be put together. Okay, she now went further to say that there are some irregularities with the pageant organizers. So she's saying here that there are some irregularities with the pageant organizers and franchise holders, and also some desperate pageant competitors. Please, let's get it right. So she's saying now that there's issues with pageant holders, franchise holders, pageant organizers, and desperate pageant competitors. So she's saying now that the irregularities comes with the franchise holders, the pageant holders, and the competitors. So that's the beauty queen themselves. Okay, she now said bad behavior by some bad eggs have tainted the image of the pageant industry after the glory days of Queen Agbani Darego. So she's now saying that there's a lot of bad behavior in the pageant industry, in the pageantry here in Nigeria. A lot of bad behaviors by some bad eggs. So she said that there's some people that don't want the pageant industry in Nigeria to flourish. So it doesn't go far from the three people she mentioned: the pageant organizers, the franchise holders, and the desperate pageant competitors. So she's saying that the beauty queens that are desperate to compete, the organizers and the franchise holders, they are the bad eggs in this pageant industry. Like, they're the people that are tainting the pageant industry. They are the bad eggs in the pageant industry. So she said that after Agbani Darego, there were a lot of issues in the pageant industry. So the pageant industry now went down south after Agbani Darego won Miss World, after the glory days of Agbani Darego, where there was free and fair pageant system. After all of a sudden, after Agbani Darego, some people became so desperate with the pageant scene and decided misbehaving. So now, slide 2, she said, Nigerian pageant competitors must see pageantry as a personal journey. And in as much as it's important for Nigerian competitors to heavily invest in themselves through logistics, PR, and strong team building to stand a chance of winning any international competitions, because some franchise holders of the big pageants are not interested in investing in their representatives for a simple, mediocre reason of not wanting to pay higher for franchise fees. She now made an example of, e.g., Miss Universe franchise fees for local franchise holders used to be determined by how strong and serious a franchise franchise something. Okay, now in this particular slide, she's saying the fact that a lot of pageant organizers, a lot of pageant fans, they need to franchise holders, they need to look at the fact that it's important for you to invest in your personal journey. Like, as a franchise holder, it's important for you to invest in your, put in more effort in your investment if you want to see a change in the pageant industry here in Nigeria. There must be some form of change. There must be some form of personal investment in the pageant scene. She said that they need to invest more in logistics, PR, strong team building, to stand a chance in winning of any of the international pageants. That's what she's saying. So she now went further to say that big pageants are not interested in investing in their representatives So she's saying that franchise holders are not interested in investing in their representatives, meaning that a lot of franchise holders here in Nigeria, they are not interested in investing in their representatives. So after they crown the queens, they now allow the queens to do whatever they like. Like they don't even invest in their queens. Like they leave the queens to invest in themselves. That's what she's trying to say here, meaning that what we've been saying about the beauty queens having to invest in their own personal journey to the international pageant is what we've been saying here is true, meaning that the organizers don't have time to invest in the pageant queens. Like they don't have time. Once they crown the queens, they leave them to their fate. Okay, she now said that a simple mediocre reason of not wanting to pay higher for franchise fees, e.g. the Miss Universe franchise fees for local franchise holders, used to be determined by how strong and serious a franchise is. The stronger the country in terms of country's pageant fan base, you see, the stronger the country in terms of country's pageant fan base, the higher the franchise fees. Okay, let's say that, for example, Nigeria has a pageant fan base. Given the fact that we have a lot of population, I think we should have a higher fan base. All right, she went further to say that the lowest franchise fee for Miss Universe being $10,000, which most African franchise holders pay, and the stronger countries like Philippines, Venezuela, Thailand, India, South Africa, and many more serious countries pay as high as $80,000 for their own franchise fees. So I believe you can see the reason why Nigerian franchise holders aren't serious with the competition, so they don't pay higher franchise fees. Oh, so what she's saying here is that the higher you pay, the more serious you become. So if you are paying lower as a franchise holder, that means you won't be serious. You won't be serious at all. That's what she's trying to say here. So now she pointed out some countries that they pay higher franchise fees, like Venezuela, Philippines, Thailand, India, South Africa. You see? And these countries that she mentioned, I think they have the highest fan base and they are doing well in Miss Universe. Like they place almost every year in Miss Universe. People like Philippines places virtually every year. Venezuela places, Thailand too, they are coming up. Thailand is a very strong Miss Universe country in the sense that Thailand places almost every year in Miss Universe. South Africa as well, India as well. So now if these countries are paying a franchise fee of $80,000, and while Nigerian franchise holders are paying $10,000, how would they be serious? How would they be serious? And if you are paying higher, of course, the highest bidder takes it all now. And Miss Universe now, with the politics that's going on in Miss Universe, you should know that if you don't have the money, if you don't bid high. Oh, sorry, I have to come out and tell you guys, because this is the reason why the franchise holders of Miss Universe here in Nigeria, which we know, Silverbird, they're not taking things seriously, because if Silverbird is paying about $10,000 and other countries are paying as high as $80,000, how would they be serious with the pageant? They won't be serious with the pageant now, because they are paying lower franchise fees. They're not serious. Okay, she now went further to say that, however, the new management of Miss Universe, I think if you are aware, Miss Universe has a new management now, in the sense that they have a license, they have a new management now, a new owner. She now mentioned the owner, GKN Global Group, under the leadership of Jakapong Jarab. Sorry, I can't mention the name because it's too high. After buying the international franchise license for $20 million, has requested the Miss Universe competition through inclusivity, age restrictions, marital status, body size, etc., all removed to accommodate every strong woman all over the world. Okay, she now went further to say that, okay, willing to compete. Okay, so she now said they also launched a new requirement for Miss Universe local franchise holders by opening the local franchise for bidding. Highest bidders in each franchise country wins the license for that particular year. The bidding is open every year for a 1-year franchise license. So what she's saying now is that during the time that the franchise holders, I think last year they had to bid. The franchise holders, they told each franchise holders in the country to bid. So I was expecting that, maybe Silverbird will lose the bid or something. But at the end of the day, I think they won the bid and they still continued with the franchise of Miss Universe Nigeria. Okay, so she's not saying now that this license is usually for 1 year. So after 1 year, another highest bidder can buy up that franchise. So I feel like for Silverbird to be holding the pageant this year, they must have bought the franchise again, because the franchise is only held for 1 year, after which the license will expire. So I think the Silverbird group, they bought the license again for this year. All right. So she's now saying that, in conclusion, if Nigeria stands a chance of ever reshaping the pageant industry, okay, and bringing back the glory days, Nigerian pageant competitors must invest heavily in themselves, as mentioned in the previous pages, without waiting for the organizers. Take it like you are building your own personal profile. Go big. So she's now concluding now that if you are a pageant competitor, meaning that you are a pageant queen, or you are a beauty pageant competitor, like you're a contestant, let me just use the word, you are a beauty pageant contestant, it means in Nigeria, you have to be the one, you have to invest heavily in your pageant journey. That's what she's saying. Invest in yourself. Like, don't wait for the franchise holders to do all the work for you, due to the fact that they don't bid, they are paying lower fees now, so they don't really have time for their contestants or for their representatives. So you as a person that's representing, you as a queen that's representing your country, you have to invest more in yourself. That's what she's saying. That's her conclusion here. Don't wait for the organizers. That's what she's saying. Like, you don't have to wait for the organizers, you have to do it yourself. That's what she's saying here. So she said, take it as building your own personal profile. Like, so for example, like Sectra now that just represented Nigeria and just concluded the Supranational. You can see that Sectra built herself. Like, she has a profile now. Almost everybody knows her. She came out here and she did her best. So building your profile as a contestant is what will take you far. Not by waiting for the organizers. That's what she's trying to say, that waiting for organizers is a waste of time. If you're waiting for the organizers, you will not go far. And that is what is happening now in the pageant industry here in Nigeria. Like, you have to be the one to personally build your own profile. All right. So she now went further to say that as soon as we win an international pageant, it will attract more serious and honest local investors who would come on board and take over the franchise license of current underperforming local franchise holders. When this is done, our glory days will come back and the Nigerian pageant fan base will increase. In fact, let me drink water first. This one is serious business. This is serious. This is really serious. So, okay. So now, he said as soon as we win an international pageant, when are we going to win this international pageant now with what is happening here in Nigeria? When are we going to win our next international pageant? Like, seriously, this is a big question that we need to ask ourselves as pageant fans, as pageant bloggers in Nigeria. When are we going to win our next international or next major pageant? When are we going to do that? So she's saying now that if we win our next international pageant, it will win more serious and local investors who will now come on board and take over the franchise license of current underperforming local franchise holders. Because to me, the franchise holders of Miss Universe Nigeria, they're not really doing their best. Like, they're not performing. I was thinking that, with last year's issues, I was thinking that another franchise will buy another organizer or another company or another person will buy off the franchise from Silverbird. That's what I was thinking last year, but it didn't happen. So now she's saying now that if we really want to do well, that means that we need to look at changing the underperforming franchise holders in Nigeria, e.g. Miss Universe Nigeria franchise holder Silverbird. They're not really performing. Okay, so if we can get another company that will buy off the franchise from them, maybe we would perform better in the pageant. All right. So now the second to the last slide, she was talking about people like Ida Basi and that won the Guinness World Record. Okay, she invested over 80 million naira in that particular competition. So for her to be well known, for Ida Basi to be well known, she invested over 80 million naira. So if you're a contestant in Nigeria, in Nigerian pageantry, and you're not willing to invest in your own self, that means you will not go far. You don't need to wait for the organizers. That's what she's trying to tell us here, that as a beauty queen herself, she had to invest in herself without waiting for the organizers. I think that's why she even went far, because if you noticed in Miss Earth competition that year, which she competed in, I think she got to top 10 position. Yeah, she got to the top 10. So she's now trying to compare Ida Basi, how Ida Basi was able to spend over 80 million naira preparing for that competition, that her her cookathon, where she eventually beat the Guinness World Record. So she's not saying that if we really want to do well in pageantry, that means we have to invest in ourselves, invest a lot more money in personal building your profile as a contestant. So now she's saying that for you to be well known, like for you to do well, you have to invest in publicity, like letting yourself known. And that is why we have a lot of pet projects that the beauty queens are currently undergoing. They have a lot of pet projects that they are doing. They have a lot of issues that that is making them known in the society, in the community. So now without money, without funding, how would these beauty queens be able to set up a pet project? Now that the organizers are not really doing much, how will these beauty queen be able to raise funds and set up a pet project that will make them known in the society, that will publicize them? So in the last slide, she said the Nigerian pageant industry has the capability of reshaping the economy of our country by boosting foreign direct investment. So she's not even going to the route of tourism. Like with beauty pageants, we can even increase the tourism here in Nigeria. So she's not saying rebuilding our international reputation, not to mention the exponential growth of our tourism industry. I mentioned tourism here now because you see beauty pageant and tourism, they go hand in hand. So if you want to really improve in the tourism sector of Nigeria, that means you have to invest in the beauty pageant sector. Because if Nigeria were to be hosting international beauty pageants, I think it will attract a lot of tourists to the country. Yes, and she's making a lot of sense here. So she now said that we must do the right thing in Nigeria to regain our position as a pageant powerhouse. Yes, Nigeria is a pageant powerhouse. Even after Agbanewu won, yes, we became a pageant powerhouse. But now Nigeria is gradually going down. Like I don't know if are we in top 2 or top 3 of pageants in Africa. Like okay, let's say we are top 3, but not number 1 at all in Africa. Like South Africa has taken over now. See Ghana, see Namibia, Kenya, Namibia, Ghana, Angola, which other country am I? Zimbabwe, Zambia. Those countries are coming up in pageantry here in Africa. So she now went further to say that God bless Queen Agbani Darego and every strong Nigerian woman working for their throne. If our hard work must be referred to as excellence, then it's important that the process of our handwork. Then it's important that the process of our handwork. Okay, I think that was the end of what she said. I think this is the last slide. So Susan Garland, an ex-beauty queen, has come out to tell us that this is what is happening in the pageant industry here in Nigeria. Destiny Young, you're welcome. I think more sponsors are needed and we need a huge fan base for pageantry. Yes, that's what I've been saying, and that's what Susan Garland is saying here. Like that's what she has been saying in this her post. Because when I read it, I found out that She has been saying a lot. Like, she has really, really gone through a lot. And the fact that she's an ex-beauty queen, she knows what has been happening. She knows that we don't have a lot of sponsors. Like the pageant organizers, like she said here, because they are paying less franchise fees, they're not taking the pageant industry here serious. So as a beauty queen, as a competition, as a contestant, you have to work on yourself. You don't need to wait for the organizers anymore, because they're not doing what they ought to do. So now, as a pageant contestant, you have to put in the work. And if you don't have much funding, how are you able to cope when you don't have much funding? Like you said, now I think more sponsors are needed, and we need a huge fan base for pageantry. If we don't have the sponsors, okay, now the sponsors for MBGN and sponsors for Miss Universe Nigeria, where were they when Michelle went for Miss Universe last year? Why didn't they sponsor her outfit? Why didn't they sponsor her journey? Because if Michelle should come out and tell you what she experienced representing Nigeria and Miss Universe, that means that the ground everywhere will scatter now. Everywhere will scatter, because everybody will just know that. In fact, when she came out and said certain things about not having a lot of support, I knew that it was more of funding and the fact that the sponsors did not do their job. So now the sponsors are not doing their job, then why are we having sponsors in the pageant? Like Miss Universe Nigeria now, they have a lot of sponsors. So what are sponsors doing? How are they preparing the queens after they been crowned? How have they been able to prepare the queens post pageant? Like when they are going for international competitions, how are the sponsors? How do they come in now to help to prepare these girls for the international pageants? Because we claimed that we have a lot of sponsors. So where are the sponsors now? So where do they now come in to help the pageant industry here in Nigeria, or to help the queens to be able to do well internationally when they go out there to represent the country? Where are the sponsors coming in? Because we're not seeing the sponsors. We don't know what is happening to the sponsors. Like, how do they now support our queen? The ones, okay, now you say we need more sponsors. The ones that have been there, what have they been doing? They've not been doing well now. They've not been doing well. That's just the truth. Because if they've been doing well, I don't think we'll have this issue of, the queens facing a lot of issues, backlash, facing a lot of lack of funds, complaining about lack of funding, complaining about a lot of things. I don't think if the sponsors are doing their jobs, I don't think they will have that issue. Even if we have a huge fan base here in Nigeria, how another thing about fan base is when you publicize, when the beauty queens publicize their journey and make sure that they have to gather a lot of supporters and all that. So now the huge fan base that we have in Nigeria, which I don't even think we have huge fan base in Nigeria. We don't have a huge fan base at all. Because when we are shouting here, please come and vote for our queen, do this, do that, a lot of persons don't do that. And you find out that these queens, if they don't have a lot of support system that is backing them up, they don't really do well. Like Sectra had her mom backing her up. She had a lot of persons backing her up. And those are the people that really pushed her in the pageant, and she did very well because she had a lot of backing. When you are going to the pageant and you don't have a lot of backing, it affects. It really, really affects. And when you're backing up, you need to back up with funds. Because if you don't have funds, how will you be able to back up? So what Susan Garland is saying here is that in as much as the franchise holders are not really doing their job, because of course they're not taking the pageant serious, then the pageant contestants, the competitors, they need to put in the work. They need to put in the work. That's what she's saying. Like, you don't have to wait for the organizers. You don't have to wait for the organizers to tell you what to do or how to fund your journey. So you, as the queen, you have to be the one to now fund your journey. You have to be the one to fund fund the entire thing. And if you don't have the money, how do you raise funds? That's where the sponsors come in. Where are the sponsors? What are they doing? What are the sponsors doing? Sorry, excuse me. I'm sweating. Let me just... Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm back. I just had to take fan because I was sweating already. So, all right. So, like I said, this story, this is so pathetic, because at the end of the day, we are saying that, oh, we need change. We need change in Nigeria. We need a change in Nigeria. but yet we're not doing the needful. We're not doing the needful. The queens are not doing. See, I don't even blame the queens. So, I don't really blame them, because if you're not financially buoyant, then how are you going to cope? So, are you saying now that for you to be able to do well in Nigeria, you have to be financially buoyant as a queen? Like, for you to be able to represent your country, you have to be financially buoyant. So, how do we even raise funds if you are not financially buoyant as a queen? Like, that means you not even think about competing now, because you don't have the funds. You don't have the necessary funds. Do you understand? So that's it. That's just it. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. They're still young. Are you still here? So what do you think? Even if we have more sponsors, and the sponsors are not really putting in their best in terms of trying to make sure that they support our queen. They make sure that they sponsor them to the end. So how are we going to go about it? How do we go about it? Let me see if I can charge this phone, because it's really going down. All right, so how do we go about it? I'm currently sweating right now. Because as it is right now, Susan Garland has opened our eyes to see that it's not as we think. Oh, these girls are really doing their best. Like they are the ones that are sponsoring their journey. They are the ones that are putting the hard work. The organizers are not really doing much. And now that Miss Universe Nigeria is coming up, are you saying that these girls, after the pageant, and whoever wins the pageant, he or she, sorry, whoever wins the pageant, they have to go. So they have to be the one to sponsor their journey to Mexico. So whoever wins Miss Universe Nigeria now, she has to sponsor her journey to Mexico. She has to pay for her evening wear, national costume, everything. She has to pay for visa. Probably the organizers will sort out the visa, but her wardrobe and everything that she needs in Mexico, she has to be the one to sponsor that. Her evening wear, her national costume, everything that she needs in the pageant, she has to be the one to sponsor it. So if you don't have money as a beauty queen, how are you able to raise funds? How are you able to raise funds? So it's so pathetic. Like what Susan Garland is saying right now, like she has really exposed a whole lot, and it boils down to the fact that if pageant franchise holders are paying more, I think that they will take they will take the pageant seriously, because she mentioned countries like Thailand, Venezuela, India, paying as high as $10,000 US, to buy the franchise of Miss Universe, and Nigeria is just paying. Sorry, they are paying $80,000 to buy the franchise from Miss Universe. They pay yearly to get the license from Miss Universe. They are paying $80,000 US, and while Nigeria is paying $10,000 US, how would they take it serious? That's what she's trying to say. That if we are paying more, that means we'll take it serious. Because they are paying less, that's why they're not taking it serious. So now the pageant queens, now all the burden falls down on the pageant queens to now do what they need to do to make sure that they win, or to make sure that they perform very well in the international scene. So right now, for anyone for whoever is going to win Miss Universe Nigeria now, she has to be prepared, because she'll be the one to fund all her expenses, her pageant journey expenses. So that's what she's trying to say. That's what she's trying to say, that now, if you really want to do well in the pageant scene, you have to sponsor yourself, like work on yourself, invest in yourself. Make sure that you have a strong PR team. Make sure that you have a strong publicity. Make sure that you have what did she mention again? It's something she mentioned, like your PR team needs to be top notch. So if you don't have a strong PR team, how do you intend to do well? So Now the pageant queens, they need money to invest in themselves. They need money to do a lot of things to be able to make it in the international scene. Because she's mentioned that if Nigeria can win an international pageant, it will draw a lot of attention to the country in terms of tourism, in terms of, you know, a lot of things. So I don't know when Nigeria is going to win a major pageant again. I don't know when. With what is happening now in the country, like, when are we going to get that break? Like, when are we going to win a major international pageant? Because after Agbani Darego, I don't think we won another major pageant. We've not won any other major pageant after Agbani Darego. We came close in 2019 through Yekachi Douglas, but since then I don't think we've really come close to winning any major pageant. We've not really come close, apart from, okay, Miss Globe, where we won first runner up. Apart from that, then Miss Echo International. Those are not really major pageants like that. They're not really grand slam pageants. But at least, even if Nigeria won or if they win any of these contests I just called, at least it will be a plus. It will be a plus. So now it boils down to the fact that if the federal holders are not serious because they're not paying much for the license fee, meaning that all the burden will be on the queens to perform. So if you have to perform very well, that means you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest. And invest in yourself is a whole lot. There's a whole lot of money there, because your pet project and all that, you need to invest a lot in them. You need to invest in a whole lot of things to be able to gain that visibility that you've been craving for as a contestant. So sometimes you shouldn't even blame these girls for not performing. You should blame the fact that the organizers are not doing their job, the others are not doing their job, the sponsors themselves are not really doing their job. So there's Young, you need to come and you have to say much. You need to come and defend yourself in this particular statement, because right now Susan Galand has already opened the doors. She has already told us what is obtainable in the pageant scene. She has told us that this is what is happening. So if we don't do what we ought to do, meaning that we cannot win a major crown, like the queens need to work on themselves in order for us to win that major crown. We need to work on ourselves, and working on yourself has to do with, you know, making sure that before the pageant you work on yourself. You make sure that you know what you're going to do, yes, pet projects, and what you are fighting for, the cause you are fighting for. You need to make sure that you publicize it. You need to make sure that you have a lot of sponsors that are backing you up. You need to make sure that, you know, you do all it takes for people to recognize you, because beauty pageant sometimes is all about recognition. Like Yekachi has built a lot of fan base even outside Nigeria, but in that same vein, she also needs to work on herself, even if she has built a fan base. I think we were mentioning that in the previous video, where she said Yekachi need to work on herself if she really wants to win Miss Universe Nigeria this year. So if she's working towards, you know, letting beauty queens have that, she's fighting for the rights of beauty queens. So if she's fighting for the rights of beauty queen, how has she been able to make sure that that project gets the publicity that it needs? That's what we are seeing here. So that's what we are seeing here in this particular topic, guys. Like, I won't lie to you, like, it's not easy, because at the end of the day, I just want what I'm praying for is that the pageant system in Nigeria should have a drastic, there should be a drastic change in the pageant industry here in Nigeria, because Nigeria has come a long way in pageant scene. After Agbani Darego won, we've not had any more major crown for how many years now, and it's so sad that, you know, we are passing through the same thing year in year out. We keep saying the same thing, and nothing is being done. Nothing is being done about it. So if the organizers of these beauty pageants are not doing anything about it, then the beauty queens themselves, they need to do something about it themselves. They need to work on themselves as well. That's what Susan Garland is saying here. That if the federal attendants are not doing their job, then federal attendants need to do their job too. If the beauty queens have to do their job too. If the franchise holders, the organizers are not really doing their job, then that is where the beauty queens needs to focus on rebuilding themselves, rebranding themselves, making sure that they have the, how will I put it, making sure that they invest heavily in themselves to be able to make it in the international scene. Because right now Nigeria has not really won a major crown since Akmani Darego, and it's so sad. Like we are more than due for another major crown. So I think we need to get things right for things to be okay in Nigeria. We need to get things right by going to the root of the problem. Like, what are the major things that we need to change? So I know that's why you see what she said. That's why the pageant system in Nigeria is failing. So there's a whole lot of work we need to do. A whole lot of work we need to do. A whole lot needs to be done. That's what Susan Garland is saying. Okay. So guys, I don't know what you think, because right now I think that a whole lot needs to be done. So please, I need to get your own views. Please air your own views. What do you think about this particular issue? Do you think that, who do you think is to blame when it comes to, beauty queens and, not doing very well? Because right now, Susan Garland is saying that we need to, the queens, whatever competition you are going for as a beauty queen, you need to make sure that you invest in yourself. You need to make sure that you have all it takes to invest in yourself. You don't have to wait for the organizers. And she also mentioned that organizers, because of the greed and all that, most of them don't really care about their queens. All they want to do is that let them just get back their money. That's what they are after. Like, they don't even support the queens after they must have won. Like, they don't really have that support. What they do is that, oh, we've won, let's get back our money and let's do what we need to do and let the queen sort herself out, which is bad. Which is really, really bad. So it's so sad though. It's so sad, guys. So what do you guys think about it? Because I've ranted and I've talked about it. A lot of persons are coming in. I don't know. Come in and air your own views about this particular topic. Let's talk about it. If you are watching after end this live stream, you can as well air your own views and let us know what you think about this particular issue. Do you think that who do you think are to be blamed for the rise in pageant queens failing to place international pageants? Is it the job of the queens, or is it the job of the organizers to make sure that the queens are well taken care of? Because right now Susan Garland is telling us that the queens need to work on themselves. They need to invest in themselves. You cannot leave everything to the organizers. So if you don't have the funds, then that means that you're not ready to represent your country internationally. So as a beauty queen now, you now have to, apart from winning the crown, you now have to know how to source for funds. because waiting for the organizers is a waste of time. Waiting for the franchise holders is a waste of time. That's what Susan Garland is telling us now, that as a beauty queen, you need to be the one to fend for yourself. So why is it like that? Because I know that in other countries, the sponsors are the ones that take off issues like this. So why is Nigeria? Why is it that Nigeria's own is different? So as a beauty queen, you are the one to now fend for yourself. You are the one to do all those things by yourself. I don't think it's supposed to be so. I mean, I don't personally, I don't think it's supposed to be so. I think that as a franchise holder, as an organizer, you have to make sure that the queens are taken care of. Do you understand? So you don't leave everything to the queen or to the contestants or to the beauty queen, because you crowned her as a representative. So I think that she even if she's working on herself, but I think the organizers have a major role to play in her preparation for international pageants. You cannot leave everything to her. So in as much as the contestants are working on themselves, what are the organizers doing in that regard? What have they put in place? What measures have they put in place to make sure that, okay, we are going to support our queen, we are going to sponsor our queen in so angles? And that's where the sponsors come in. The sponsors that are coming in now, what have they done? What have they done so far? Then if the sponsors are not working, then change sponsors. Look for other sponsors. You must not use a particular sponsor every year. We keep repeating the same thing. So that's my own take on this issue. So if you have any contrary opinion, if you have any opinion, please comment down. Because right now, I think I'm done. Oh my God. Because at the end of the day, we have a huge pageant base here in Nigeria. Even with the pageant base we have here in Nigeria, it's a hassle to get them to even support. It's a hassle to get them to support. So if you're not a pageant fan, it's difficult for you to understand what is happening in the pageant industry. Like if you've been following the pageant industry here in Nigeria, the pageant scene, you should know that a lot of pageant fans do not really, they don't really understand that certain things, like now our eyes are beginning to open up to say that, oh, it's not only the organizers that need to do the job. The queens too need to put in a whole lot of the whole energy, or put in their personal best to make sure that they excel. So you now, as a pageant queen, you have to invest in yourself. But without money, how can you invest in yourself? Like how can you make sure that you work on yourself to be able to meet up to international standard? Everything has to do with funding. So if there's no funding, then that means you can't succeed as a beauty queen here in Nigeria. That's what Susan Garland is actually saying, and that's what I think is happening here in Nigeria. So if you don't even have the funds, it's quite difficult. So most times we should not even blame the ladies, because they might not have the funds to be able to compete internationally with the other girls out there, because a lot of these big countries that are making it in the pageantry, like Venezuela, Thailand, Philippines, they're not rich. They're not as rich as Nigeria, but they are doing well in pageantry because they know how to make it work. They have a lot of sponsors, and these sponsors are really putting in their best to make sure that their queens put their best foot forward. So here in Nigeria, how are the sponsors of pageants now? Have they been able to make sure that our queens are well taken care of? If at all, we are trying to blame the sponsors. Now, on the part of the queens now, if you are a beauty queen and you want to raise funds, like, you need to go do the appropriate thing. And most times, it's very difficult to get people that sponsor you as a queen. I know it's not easy to even get sponsors here in Nigeria. So I understand what the queens are really going through. It's not really easy. It's not really easy because I can see that a whole lot is happening. Sorry. A whole lot is really happening. So most times I don't really blame the girls. I wouldn't blame the contestants or the pageant queens, because most times they are left to fund themselves and to fund their journeys. And if they don't have the required funds and the required support, how would they be able to excel internationally? So now, if the finance, to me, I feel like, okay, the solution now with the finance holders is that if they can even increase their license fee, maybe they will take the pageant scene seriously. That's what Susan Galan is saying, that if they can increase their license fee, you can imagine that other countries are paying $80,000 and Nigeria is paying $10,000 for license. So if they are paying $10,000 and other countries are paying as high as $80,000, those people will know that, oh, you know, when you put your money somewhere, the more you invest in a particular thing, the more serious you are about that particular thing. And that is what is playing out here. Like if you spend thousands of dollars or thousands of naira or millions of naira to buy a particular product or a particular thing, or let's say a particular product, you make sure that you use it. You make sure that, oh, you handle it with care. You sure that you do everything to make sure that, oh, that product it lasts on you, right? So I think that it's same thing with pageantry. When you put in that much effort, that much investment in it, you tend to do much better because you've invested a whole lot in it. So that's what Susan Grant is saying here, that why the pageant or the franchise holders are not even putting much effort is because they don't even pay much to buy the license now. If you are paying higher to buy the license for a particular pageant, that's when you take it seriously. But when they're not paying much, how would they take the pageant seriously? So that's it. So guys, if you have your opinion, please drop your opinion in the comment section, because I'm done. I've already said what I need to say. I've had my own opinions, and I've told you guys that this is what, it's happening. This is what is obtainable. So I think we need to get a solution to the problems that we're having now, or that we're facing as a pageant country. If we really want to be that, if we really want to be number one pageant country here in Africa, that means we need to put the measures, a lot of measures in place. And those measures need to start, first of all, with the contestants, the organizers, the franchise holders, and we, the pageant fans as well. We, the pageant bloggers. And that's why we are here to, to create that publicity. I know a lot of persons that are watching my channel from outside Nigeria. So when I talk about Nigerian beauty queens, they also comment. So if we have a lot of pageant bloggers here in Nigeria, I think that our queens will be giving them much publicity. And that's why I'm here to give them that publicity. Okay? So in as much as we are also here to give that publicity, if the queens don't invest in themselves, or if the franchise holders or the pageant organizers are not putting in the effort, then that's how we'll be complaining every year. Coming here to complain, oh, this is not happening, because the efforts, the much needed important efforts are not put in place. So we, the pageant bloggers now, will only come here and say what we know how to say. Me, I can't keep myself. I can't say more than I can. I can't do more than I can, but I can't do much more than I can, or more than my capacity. The only thing I can come here to do is to rant and say, oh, we're not doing well, we're not doing this, we're not doing. But at the end of the day, if I come here and rant, the persons that are involved, how are they going to cope? How are they going to make sure that, okay, whatever we are saying here, at least most times, most of the things that we say here as pageant bloggers, I think that the queens are watching, so they might just, okay, probably adjust and say, okay, let me work on this particular area. I think this is the area that I'm being criticized about. Let me work on it. And that's why it's good to come out here and say your mind. Because me, I like criticizing. If I see something that is not good, I criticize it. Because when you're criticizing, it makes the person that you're criticizing to change. It doesn't come from a place of hate or a place of mockery or a place of jealousy or something. It's coming from a place of, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make sure that, oh, you come out well. I'm trying to make sure that, oh, whatever part that you're not progressing in or you're not doing well, this is how you need to change, or you need to change something about it, or you need to do something about it rather. I remember when I said something about Sectra's super chat, when I said she was becoming emotional or something. I know the backlash I received. Like, someone used a fake account to troll me and say all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, I just said, it's I understand, because a lot of persons don't like taking criticism. I'm not saying that all myself. See, we are humans. Most times when people criticize you, it's coming from a place of it's not coming from a place of hate. They're just saying it so that you can work on yourself and do better. They just want you to do better. That's just it. So when I come here and criticize most beauty queens, I'm not doing it from a place of hate. I'm doing it because I want them to do better. So if they are watching and they want to really improve, and they listen to whatever pageant bloggers are saying, whatever pageant analysts are saying on their channels, I think that way it will go a long way to make sure that, okay, whatever I'm not doing right, I have to change. That is life for you. So I feel like it's not enough for me to come and rant. What if they don't take this advice and they do the opposite? So all my ranting will not be in vain. So that's just it though. I can't say more than this. We're already going to 1 hour. So no problem. If you have any contrary opinion, if you have any comments, please comment down below. As for me, I think I've said all I need to say about this particular topic. So it all boils down to, as a pageant queen, you need to work on yourself. You need to work on yourself, invest in yourself. You can't wait for the pageant holders, because the way I'm seeing the pageant holders here in Nigeria, they're not really serious about the pageant system here. So to me, if you're not serious about it, why not give the license to another person that is serious to handle it? Why not give the license to another person that wants to make the pageant system here in Nigeria grow? If you have been handling the pageant for years and it's not working for you, you're not being able to crown a representative all these years, why not give it to someone else that is ready, that is serious about it? Because to me, it's not about you having the license to hold a pageant for years and you keep getting the same result. Year in, year out, you keep getting the same result. Give it out to someone else that is ready to work. That's my own take on this issue. To me, give it to somebody else that's ready to work. Because at the end of the day, if you're not ready to put in the work, then another person is ready to put in the work. Why not give the person a chance? Do you understand? So why not give the person a chance? Because to me, pageant system here in Nigeria, it shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like a football match where you tussle and tussle and tussle. Do you understand? So we have come to the place where there need to be stability in the pageant industry here in Nigeria. There need to be that stability that will bring the much needed change that is required for us to have that, to go back to the glory days of Agbani Darego. Because right now, after Agbani Darego, we have not won any major pageant in Nigeria, and it's very sad. It's very, very sad. So if we don't put these measures in place, how then are we able to measure up to other countries? Because Nigeria is really lacking behind in terms of pageantry. And they're really lacking far behind. Because right now, funding shouldn't be a problem, because we've gone far. So I think that with what I've said so far, if you're a beauty queen and you want to contest in the pageant here in Nigeria, I think you need to work on yourself first of all before you even think of buying the form. Make sure that you have the required funds, you have the pet project, you have the publicity, you have a PR team, okay, that can publicize you and make sure that you have that publicity, because it's very, very important as a beauty queen as well to have publicity. So I think that those are the issues that we need to resolve here in Nigeria. With the pageant organizers, I cannot say much about them, because right now a whole lot of them, they're not really taking their job seriously. They feel like, okay, if I'm paying $10,000 US, which is a meager amount compared to what other countries are paying, so why would I put in that much seriousness? So it's so sad. It's so sad, and I wouldn't want to say much, because I said I wouldn't talk much. At least 1 hour, I'm out of here, and we're gradually getting to 1 hour. And I wouldn't say much. For those of you that watched Destiny Young, thank you for coming. Those of you that came into the live stream and went out that did not comment, please, I want to say that you can drop your comments in the comment section after the live stream. And yes, tomorrow is Miss Universe Nigeria screening, physical screening. I think that I would follow the screening process, and I will schedule another live stream where I will come out and I will come out and tell you guys what I think, or what happened in the physical screening. Okay, I think going forward I'll be holding live streams focusing on Miss Universe Nigeria pageant. Okay, so throughout this Miss Universe Nigeria journey, I'm going to be scheduling live streams. Of course, I'll film my videos as usual, but I think live streams will be better for us to be able to interact and air our views on the contestants. So at the end of tomorrow, I think we should be able to know our top contestants for Miss Universe Nigeria. Okay, so after the screening process, the final 37 contestants will be revealed on their Instagram page, and of course I will update you guys as usual now. So if you're subscribed to my channel, or you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because this is the best time for you to subscribe. A whole lot is coming on this channel. So if you're a subscriber, make sure that you click on the bell notification button to get notified whenever I'm posting new videos, or whenever I post new videos, or whenever I schedule live stream, so that you get notified. Okay, all right, so I think I have ranted enough for this particular video. So I'll see you guys in my next live stream and in my next video coming up very, very soon. Okay, all right, share love and not hate. Over here I share love. I talk about beauty pageant analysis. I talk about a whole lot on the pageant industry here in Nigeria. So if you want to collaborate with me, send me a DM or send a mail, so that we can collaborate. If you're a pretty pageant lover, I want to collaborate with me, I'm open for collaborations. Okay, so guys, send me an email and we'll discuss and talk about it. All right, so if you have any other comments on this particular topic, comment down below and talk about it. All right, so till my next video coming up very soon, and next live stream, please take care and good night.